Saudi Arabia's defense ministry has said that 4 drones have been intercepted and destroyed in the Riyadh metropolitan area. Since the start of the US-Israel war on Iran on February 28, Saudi Arabia has been targeted by waves of Iranian drones and missiles targeting critical energy infrastructure, US interests in military installations and urban areas. At least 2 people have been killed and 12 others injured in the attack. Mr. Manan Dwivedi, foreign affairs expert, is joining me. Mr. Dwivedi, like Major General Sehgal was very rightly saying that दुश्मन को कभी underestimate नहीं करना चाहिए, and Donald Trump perhaps should have thought of that earlier. What do you have to say?
I would just like to contend over here that there was a particular thing which I had been talking about, I have been referring to repeatedly in your esteemed channel and through my newspaper articles and other podcasts which we keep on doing on IR, and the crisis between Iran being on one side of the fence and Israel and US being on the other side of the the fencing, the aerial fencing which is going on, and the chutzpah and the shock and awe which is going on. I personally feel that boots, in relation to that, I had said that it might be very difficult this time around for the Americans to completely rely upon their strategy of shock and awe and taking out the Satan or the enemy, and some sort of boots on ground will also need to be involved, need to be dispatched if the revolutionary guards in Iran have to be tackled. But because when we were talking about such a annihilatory narrative at that particular point of time, we were wary of the fact that the next world war or something of a grandiose Armageddon between the axis of resistance led by Iran and Turkey and China, and the coalition of the willing led by US and Israel might be on the offing. But as we have seen, I personally feel that America definitely has its military aims, military objectives, where though a lesser intensity as compared to Tel Aviv, but Trump also wants that there needs to be a kind of a complete cleansing in Iran. There needs to be a regime change. But one of the fallouts of the war in the last 12, 13, 14 days which we have seen has been that the Americans and the Israelis have not been able to foment a capitulation of the Iranian regime, which is not a very good development. But still, I take you back to World War II, where the most powerful nation state on the world, Great Britain, which was definitively declining, it literally fought for its own life when the battle of the air battle of Britain over the British Isles and the English Channel started. But when Normandy occurred and when these landings by the Allied forces occurred, they were able to gradually and systematically annihilate and capture the territory which had been confiscated by Adolf Hitler, by the Germans, and that is the Jerries. So I personally feel that it was already known, and I do not buy this argument that the Americans did not plan about with their war with Iran at all. That is not true. One of the most powerful, technologically advanced, and one of the most lethal militaries of the world, in the first 1 to 9 paydans happens to be that of America. So I personally feel that the war still might change completely once the boots on grounds come, but then it will be a man-to-man combat, a bayoneting kind of a thing which traditional warring countries have been doing. And apart from that, I personally feel that the 2,500 Marine commandos might not be enough. A mere symbolic or a mere threat operation, a mere what you call an arm twisting
Mr.
operation
Dwivedi, we're
based
getting
on
some
psychology.
breaking news. I'll just have to come back to you shortly. Now, residential areas in